You want me to put that on my Tudor?
Harry's wife, we are sick of your PR blitzes. Hello. As you know from my work, a narcissist seeks 4 things. This may be done in an aware fashion, which is unusual and rare, and more commonly in an unaware manner. The 4 things are, of course, control of people, fuel. If you want to understand more about what that is, read my excellent book, Fuel, available on Amazon or from the Knowledge Vault, link in the video description. Character traits, watch the video Character Trait Acquisition, and residual benefits. Residual benefit covers lots of things, typically money, somewhere to live, access to networks, a facade, and lots more. The narcissism exists to pursue at least one of those things from other human beings, and often all 4. Harry's wife, as a mid-range narcissist, is no exception in that regard, and her subconscious narcissism guides her activities and behavior when it comes to people and the contemplation of being involved with other people for the purposes of ensuring that she asserts control over them, that she nullifies any potential threat that exists with regard to her control, that where they are under control, she continues to maintain that control. She has to draw fuel from people to validate her existence. It gives her her life juice, if you will. She acquires character traits because, quite simply, she has very little to offer herself and has to acquire the character traits of other people and pass them off as her own. Finally, the residual benefits. She maintains a facade of being a kind and empathic person. Money is of huge interest to her, access to networks. And thus, her narcissism operates to enable her to achieve those 4 things. Some narcissists are innately charming and have the ability to inveigle their way into the friendships with people so that they are well liked, admired, lauded. All of that makes those people easy to control, draw fuel from them, and then have access to their character traits and residual benefits. Harry's wife is dull. She's the Duchess of Industrial Beige. She talks in terms which have been obtained from other people because she has no originality herself. Indeed, in some instances, as according to The Cut, she talks in weird guttural sounds, not visceral, but guttural sounds. In order to allow her to assert control over people, when it comes to a one-on-one with a man, she doles out the spicy poontang. She adopts the anytime, any place, anywhere approach. Thus, to any pink-podded randy bastard, like the Prince of Pink Pancakes, being offered lashings of spicy poontang makes him easy to control. But with other people, sex is not something that she can utilize. And therefore, she has to try and assert control over people in other ways. At first, it's through this sickly sweetness of being a pleasant person. But unfortunately, her facade often gets holes punctured in it, because her narcissism isn't the job of asserting control over lots and lots of people. So people see through it. Furthermore, because people have taken a dislike to her, they watch with an eagle eye over what she says and does and compare it with the past, and then pick up on all of the lies. A person who was far less prominent wouldn't have their lies picked up on as obviously as she does. But because she has attracted the disapproval of so many people, that means that there are legions of fact-checkers out there watching what she does, all there, wanting to cross-reference what she's said and done in the past with what she says and does now, and pointing out where she tells the lies, of which there are legion. In order to assert control over people, because she's not inherently charismatic, she's not inherently likable, she tries to use this facade of caring, but it gets seen through. She therefore has to rely very heavily on the PR puff pieces. We are familiar, of course, with the stable of publications that she utilizes in that regard. People.com, Tatler, Harper's Bazaar, Town and Country, Elle, Cosmopolitan, Marie Claire, and, of course, Hello. Well, now we can add another name to the stable as she continues with the PR blitz. She, of course, is incapable of recognising that the incessant PR that she engages in is actually becoming counterproductive, that more people just see through it straight away as the very thing that it is, a PR puff piece. And more people call it out. There might be some instances where somebody would see that with regard to somebody who is famous, that yes, it's a PR puff piece, and they would think, yes, I see it for what it is, but that person does me no harm, they're not irritating, they're engaging in a little bit of blowing their own trumpet, nothing is said about it. But with Harry's wife, because of her behaviours, because of her necessity of trying to make herself something that she is not, she's got up the noses of many people. And therefore that means that each and every time she seeks to assert control through a PR puff piece, other than the brain-dead shuggers, everybody else is either not interested or sees it for what it is, an attempt to assert control through a PR puff piece, and rails against it. And the problem is that the more that she attempts to do this, the more that she creates a problem for herself, because more and more people will go, oh, here she goes again with another publicity blitz, we're sick and tired of it. Of course, she can't see it that way. Anybody that criticises her is dismissed as being a fool and a hater and a racist, rather than her seeing, actually, I'm overexposed, aren't I? Her narcissism will never allow her to see that, and therefore the bad news for you all is that she's never going to stop trying to influence people in this fashion. The only way that its demise will come about is as a consequence of her being dropped by many people and having no money in order to influence anybody anymore. The latest example of this, which also shows the law of diminishing returns in relation to her attempt to control people, is something called House Beautiful. On their Twitter feed, they state, after leaving royal life behind, Prince Harry and Harry's wife are paving a new path for themselves across the pond. How fucking long have they been paving this bastard thing for? Years, it would seem. Surely they've done the paving bit and they're now lounging in the verdant, luscious greenery of the garden at Monty Shit Show, Harry having a spliff and Harry's wife pretending to cut the roses. Learn more about the couple's life in California, from their Monty Shit Show mansion to their star-studded inner circle. And then there's a video which is provided, I needn't bore you with it, which is entitled Prince Harry and Harry's Wife's California Life. It's boring. I've watched it, it's dull. But it's just another PR puff piece. And it's an attempt, through whatever House Beautiful is, for Harry's wife to assert control over the audience with this placed piece. Has it had the desired effect? Has it caused oodles of people to come forth and say, oh, so wonderful that you're paving a new path for yourself across the pond. Oh, what a lovely life you have at Monty Shit Show. Oh, how I love your mansion. Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's to dive into the comments that follow it on Twitter. First up, there is Faith, who basically provides us with a huge emoji of a frowning face and a thumbs down. So I take it as a no from her. Betsy Baxendale, talk about privilege. The non-mad scientist. They've been paving for years now. When will it be paved well enough for them to stay across the pond? Nat, don't care to see anything about this couple. Palmer Sayan, MD, what star-studded inner circle? Mrs. Sparks, send them back. Frank Weiss, I tune them out, star-studded and all. Larry Milford, deport them now. Bill, a.k.a. BFI, who cares? Sandra Deephouse, hard pass on this. Rick Nagale, who cares? Read Bandbugs, more paid PRIC. The chair is against the wall. Lame and boring. Denise, who cares? I'm so sick of these two. The lies and whining. For the love of God, make it stop. Sue, just Sue. Gross. Squeegee girl. What does this have to do with house design and inspiration? Who is paying you to promote Has Been and Never Was? Carol Withane. Ugh, please, no more of this horrible couple. SK, good lord, not another paid PR blitz. Give it a rest. They are wasting their money. They annihilated their brand with the Netflix crap and the buck, and nothing will resuscitate it. Riley Dog, good grief, House Beautiful, stop being a media shill. Are you trying to be the Inquirer? Ignazio Saloni, so no royal life but still a rich life? Bobby, I'd rather blow my brains out, thanks. Hug your haters. Star-studded inner circle, you're obviously writing whatever she told you to write because they're both pariahs in Hollywood and in the UK. No one likes them, but worse, they can't be trusted because all they do is lie. Hanoverian, Star-studded Inner Circle, Omid Scobie and Ellen occasionally. Wow, such an impressive roster. And we've seen portions of their McMansion. It's much closer to House Generic than House Beautiful. JH, who cares? Self-absorbed toddlers. New Haven Home Girl, why are they continually forcing themselves upon us? No one cares. Irish Tiger, who cares? LSD Cowboy, shut the fuck up. Gerald Miskin, who really cares? Raid Band Bucks, what is this clearly paid PR BS from you? Not one supportive comment or observation. All of them roundly condemning Harry's wife and the publication for including Harry and Harry's wife. Once again, it shows that people really don't like them, and this attempt to assert control through this paid PR activity has failed. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.